Hi, I'm Bart Hanson. I'm the owner and operator of CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the phone number in the description. But I was there on a Tuesday and I played some 150-300 mix, but I know that they have
Okay.
this 10-10 game at Parks on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
This sort of
Whatever
plays,
reason, Tuesday runs big.
but this sort of plays like a regular 5-10. I asked you, what's the open sizing? Is this more of a 10-20
Yeah,
or a 10-10?
it's a pretty big game though, because it definitely plays bigger than like 510, like Borgata, I would say, just because
Is
the
there a
buy-in's
cap or is
3K.
it uncapped?
It's 3K cap,
Okay, okay.
so it's pretty deep.
Uh-huh.
Um, Not everybody buys in that deep. I'd say most people buy in like 2K though.
Okay. All right. So it's like a bigger
Um,
5-10 sort of.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, the game's really good. I actually fought a well over. That's what kind of brought me over there. The game's juicy as hell. I honestly think it's pretty comparable to some of the LA games you play. That's why I kind of wanted your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Most of the players probably couldn't even beat a 1-2 game. It's like 10-10, 20 sometimes. So it's really big.
In this game, the game that you're playing, you mean?
Right, yeah.
Most of the
I don't
players
know if
can't
it
beat
was
a
just a
1-2
fluke
game? That sounds like
Tuesday.
a good game.
Yeah, it was the first time that I played at the 10-10 there at Parks, but
Okay.
the two tables I played with the must move and stuff they were fantastic.
Okay.
So I'll definitely be playing tomorrow and I'll see what it's like. I don't know if that was just a fluke, but anyway, I buy in. I buy in for 2K, but we're like 1,800 effective.
Okay.
Low jack, like a weak recreational player, opens to 40. I flatten the cutoff with King of Hearts, Ten of Hearts.
Okay. So you
I would play
sometimes
mixed
3-bet
here.
this, I'm sure, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes.
I would say 50-50. Usually
Okay.
I pick like red or black, and I kind of run it
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah.
Um, Anyway, small blind and big blind tag along. They're both pretty big whales.
Sounds like a good game.
Yeah, they're Indian guys. I don't know why, but the Indian guys at Parks are just huge donators and like at every level. Um,
This is the same thing that they say about, we don't have many Indian guys in the LA, but I hear that about the Bay Area too. There's a lot of Indian guys.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
insane. Like they're just throwing it away.
So 160
anyway,
by 4, right? 4 times 40, 160.
yeah.
Okay.
We go four ways to the flop.
Yep.
It's pots 160. The flop comes King of Diamonds, Ten of Diamonds, Eight of Clubs.
So you flop top 2.
Correct.
Okay.
So it checks to us, small blind, big blind, and pre-flop razor check.
Yep.
We have top 2. I don't think there's much to say. It's pretty much a must bet for value.
Sure. And then you got the pre-flop razor, by the way, to your immediate right, which means the Indian guys have naturally checked them.
Correct.
So
Yep.
I'd probably go pretty low. I mean, we talk, this is where I think a lot of people start to make mistakes about sizing, and they don't bring it back to like our roots of value against these whales.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would bet at least 100 here.
Yeah,
Probably.
I went pretty big for
Yeah.
that reason, and just because I'm not going to be betting very thin here very often. It's going to
Yeah.
be pretty strong range or high equity bluffs. So I went with 120 into
Okay.
160.
I can get on board. I can get on board with that. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Small blind folds, big blind calls, and then the pre-flop razor over calls. So now the pot's 520, and the turn is the 6 of spades.
All right. Hold on 1 second. So we got 120, and then the small blind folds, the big blind calls, and the pre-flop razor, who's in the low jack,
Right.
over calls. That could be like a hand like ace queen or ace jack. I don't know how much these guys are pot controlling.
Yeah, that's
Ace
what I was
king,
thinking too. Or
something
it kind of goes
like
off
that.
the rail on the turn here in the next line. It kind of just.
All right,
I'm
so
not sure how to range either guy, but
520
not
to
really
the
too
turn.
worried
What's the
about
turn?
guy.
6 of diamonds? Is that what you said?
6 of spades.
Oh,
6 of spades.
6 of spades. So 7-9 comes in, but still
Right.
front door diamonds are out there. Okay.
Yep.
Mhm.
So this is kind of where things kind of get a little crazy and just kind of live dynamic. Big blind donk leads pot 500.
Wow.
With like
Holy shit.
300. He only has like 300 back, so he started with like a 1,000. Or
Oh,
something
okay.
Like that.
So he's with 300 behind. Okay. So he's not.
Yeah, I mean
super
this guy
deep,
is this guy's like I said, he's terrible. There's no chance I'm folding this guy. He could have anything. Trying to make sense of his range is just it would like make
Yeah.
your head explode.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he's just terrible.
Mhm.
We're not going anywhere. But the pre-flop razor actually, facing this donk, he shoves for about 1,600. I think he started 18, so we're facing basically. I think the pot's 29-20, 1,600 to call. So we're like 1,600 to win 45-20 roughly.
So the pot's 20. This is good. Thanks for doing the math out for me. So I don't have to think. So it goes
Yeah.
500 all in, 1,600. So it's like 29-20, 1,600 for
Right.
you to call, but you'll probably get the extra 300 right from the guy
Yeah,
behind
he's
you.
not
So
going
it's
anywhere,
more
for
like
sure.
going to be like 32, right?
I-
1,600 to call, right? something like that.
I think I already factored in the guy's 300
Oh,
into this math. I'm not sure.
1,026. You did. All right, so it's gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah.
so
I figured he wasn't going anywhere. I mean,
right.
he's
So the
got
2,920 figure factors in the fact that you're gonna get the extra 300 from the guy that donks. What's the deal with this guy? The low jack?
uh, I would say he's like a weak recreational player. Not really. He's not very good, but he's not terrible. He has some like card sense, I would say.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's definitely not a winner. Like I played 2-5 with him a fair amount. Um,
God, this is so crazy because like,
yeah,
you block like pocket kings and pocket tens. Like, does he have 7-9 here that he check over calls? And then, these are the questions that I'd ask myself. I'm like, shit. Well, I block like, I almost have like a better hand to call with here, or I feel more comfortable with King 10 than I do with like pocket eights if he slow plays sets, right?
right.
Because he's got pocket kings and pocket tens, and then so I'd ask
I
myself
just
that,
can't.
and then I'm like, well, would he have 7-9 here? And then my last question would be, is this guy bad enough to play like aces this way? But then when you go back and you're like, or ace king, but then when you go back and you're like, yeah, but if he's gonna play it like safe. He's checking the flop and now he's going to jam the turn, but then you have the
Right.
wild card of this crazy guy in
I had
between.
trouble ranging him after overcalling the flop. I figured if he was slow playing a set, he was going to raise there.
I gotta be honest with you. If I was in this situation, I didn't know the players that well. It's hard for me to fold here. Back. It's probably
Right.
pretty close.
I
Uh,
thought so too. I mean,
yeah,
it's one of the better hands I have. I mean, I have some tens, like partial to tens also. I have
yeah,
eights, which I think I would snap call those.
yeah.
And this is kind of like one of those spots where I don't think it's a massive difference between the two, calling or folding.
Right, right.
Yeah, I was just seeing how you would approach it based on like if it was Commerce 5-10 because it's probably a similar game.
I think I call. I mean, I just
Yeah,
think that when you add in the sort of wacky dude that's just playing nuts, it sort of changes people. Like if
that's what I was thinking
if
too.
somebody
Yeah,
like donk led that wasn't so crazy, and then somebody shoved, then you can make a pretty tough fold. But I don't. I mean, the only hand that really makes a ton of sense here is like I said, like if he has 7-9 that he check called the flop with that he opened, or like I guess he could have slow played eights, but is he gonna just overcall the flop? Like if you're the
yeah,
pre-flop raiser and you bet and you flop a set of eights and you decide to slow play, you get a bet of 120 from you on the button, right?
right,
And then this guy calls. Is he gonna just call? Look how many sticky turn cards there are. I
right.
mean, the
That's
board's
why I had
super
trouble.
wet,
Like,
right?
right.
Yeah, I would call.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I called.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I kind of had the same approach. I was like, what value does he have? Like
yeah,
maybe he takes like ace queen or ace jack of diamonds or something, which
yeah.
I would think he would probably barrel off or even raise that flop too. So either way, I ended up calling. He had the whale in the big blind had ace king suited. So he's
Just
just like
just not okay.
yeah. He actually had stronger than I thought, but he's still still splashing around
Right,
obviously on that board.
right.
And then the pre-flop razor, I actually didn't think he was this wide, but he had 9-7 off.
9-7 off. Holy shit! Fuck.
Yeah,
Wow. So didn't see bet the flop, and
right.
then just made the nuts on the turn. I don't have a problem with it, man. I mean,
Okay.
hopefully I assume you didn't suck out though, huh?
No, I bricked out. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, what are you gonna do? I mean,
yeah.
King
That's
10,
right.
like, yeah, it's just. I mean, I think you would obviously probably go with a set of eights too.
Yeah, I would.
Um, but it's gonna have more equity. But yeah, it's just I mean, what the fuck are you gonna do? You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
yeah.
I didn't think he was that wide. Now, obviously, I would just three bet all those partials against that guy. But
I mean, if he's that wide, the other interesting thing too. I mean, we can go down this rabbit hole. Is like if he's opening 9-7 off, I would imagine that he's opening 8-6 suited. And would he ever play like 8-6 this way too?
right, or like
When he
ace
turn,
six of diamonds or something, like overcall and then
yeah,
jam the,
yeah.
you know. So,
Anyways, thanks for calling in. That's a good call.
all right, thanks, Bart.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
guys. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA200. Click on the link right there.